no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
And now, Mike's thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, the NFL experts have spoken. The experts of the NFL use that term very, very loosely because what makes you an expert? I don't know, whatever, but these experts have given out their grades of the trades from this last Tuesday. They have given out their grades of what teams did what. And when these experts released their NFL trade grades, I instantly scrolled down to the Dallas Cowboys. Like, Jonathan Mingo was not needed part of the Dallas Cowboys. What did these experts give the Dallas Cowboys on this trade? They gave them a B-. They gave them a B- on this trade from the Carolina Panthers to the Dallas Cowboys for Jonathan Mingo. A B- trade value, and the Panthers got an A trade value out of it as well for the 7th round draft pick. So then I'm like, well, if they're giving them a B-, the Steelers have got to be the A+, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers picking up Mike Williams, that much-needed receiver that they've been sought after all season long. What did they do? They gave the Pittsburgh Steelers a C-. They gave them a C- and the Jets an A+ on this trade. What in God's green gracious is you thinking out there, NFL experts, giving the Dallas Cowboys a B- trade for picking up Jonathan Mingo, but then a C- trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers picking up Mike Williams? What? And then the Jets get an A for it? Holy good Lord. And the Carolina Panthers get an A? Yeah. Get off their slight seconds, whatever. Cool. But come on, NFL experts, you're better than that. C- for Mike Williams, the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is a game-changing, season-changing trade. They went from a playoff favorites. Yeah, they were going to make the playoffs and maybe win a wild card game. Now I have them as the NFC Championship game. That trade meant a lot to the Pittsburgh Steelers. NFL experts, get your minds right. Start listening to me because I'm a hell of a lot smarter than y'all are, I guess. I don't know, but smarts are smarts, right? But experts, I'm a freaking expert. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhoster here with the Man. I'll be sure to over to manhourradio.com, manhour.co. All those websites, head over to it. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the merchandise page. Every day your merch is out there, guys. I will be posting a promo link on our Facebook page after this live stream is over. So if you guys would like a free Man Hour Everydayer t-shirt, click on the link, enter in the promo, bada bing, bada boom. The t-shirt is yours free of charge. All you gotta do is simply click on the link and order it, bada bing, bada boom. It is yours for free. I cannot cover shipping, however, because the promo codes don't allow me to cover shipping. It only allows me to cover the cost of the t-shirts. So there's a little shipping fee. It's like $5 or whatever it is. Nothing crazy. But you do get a free t-shirt in the end. But we do got a great show for you guys on today. It is Friday, so it is Contender or Pretender Friday, and we're going to do wildcard edition. Week 10 of the NFL season is upon us, so the wildcard playoff pictures are starting to come together. So we're going to cover all 6 NFL wildcard teams. That is the Eagles, the Vikings, the Green Bay Packers, Chargers, the Denver Broncos, and the Baltimore Ravens, all wild card teams. So we will be saying if there's contenders or pretenders. We're also in a must-win. Week 10 is a must-win. Must-win team. Week 10. We got 4 teams. Four teams that I think are going to have to must-win this week, and we're going to talk about those. And, of course, we got to talk about the flag that wasn't last night. We got to recover from the Bengals versus Ravens game. We got to talk about that game, and we really got to talk about the biggest issue, the biggest elephant in the room, and then as the Denver Broncos defense, or sorry, not the Denver Broncos, the Baltimore Ravens defense. Their defense is suspect at best. Suspect at best. And then Hamilton goes down, and then Jamar Chase goes for like 260-some odd yards. Yes, Lamar Jackson did carry the team for 4 tutties in like the fourth quarter, but still, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Ann says, I'm still waiting on my shirt, Buck. Your shirt is ordered. It just takes time to process and ship, man. I do not do it in-house. It is all third party. So once it is out there, it will be shipped to you. I believe when old Laura got her hoodie, it took about 3 to 4 weeks, potentially 5 weeks. So it does take a little bit of time because we are in the peak season of shirt making. So it is on the way 100%. So we definitely got that large shirt for you on the way. Yes, guys, Ant is a man and he's wearing a large. Nah, we're not gonna dog you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But before we get to your getaway, we gotta welcome some people into the chat. I was having a conversation with somebody about the rigged NFL, and Jim, Mr. Pigskin Pundit himself, says, "You are a Chiefs fan. Can you seriously ask that question if the NFL is rigged or not, or if we could even throw a flag?" I don't know what it is. It is what it is. And Ann says it's all about making money, Buck. Making those dollar bills, y'all. And it is all about making money. My man James Frank is in the chat as well. Top fan James Frank says, well, no 5 tutties from Derrick Henry, but it was a good one. It was a great game. And I think the Ravens forgot they had Derrick Henry in the backfield the first half, actually the whole game. And I don't think Derrick Henry really, did he break 50 yards? I'm not for sure. He did find the end zone. He has found the end zone every game this season, so he's definitely doing good things this season. So 5 tutties, come on, you all knew better than that. You knew Lamar Jackson was definitely going to carry that team 100%. So you guys taking 5 tutties was ass of 9, ass of 10, ass of 11, ass of 12. Let's just be honest. But it was a great game. I definitely did enjoy the game. And what was it, about the third quarter? Halfway through the third quarter, Jamar Chase scores that breakaway touchdown. It was like 21-7. And I'm like, my prediction of a low score is going to be right. So I get up, I put the kids to bed, I go get some queso and some chips, and all of a sudden it's a tied game, 21-21. I'm like, or actually it wasn't tied, it was 21-20 because Justin Tucker missed his PAT. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh crap, here we go. Over 65 it is, boys. Let's buckle up. And it was a hell of a fourth quarter. But yeah, it was definitely a good game. James says, good things my Browns are on a bye this week. Yeah, we don't want to dog your Browns too much, James, but we will be talking about them coming up probably as well. And James says, Chase done balled the F out. I don't understand how Jamar Chase can do a lot of things that he does, right? Was it 3 years ago? I think it was. I think what it was the other that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, right? Jamar Chase had like four tutties against my Kansas City Chiefs. We knew he was going to go get the ball. We knew he was going to run a back corner route or whatever, a Z route or pig route. We knew what routes he was going to run. Somehow he still got open. Joe Burrow put the ball on the money. And Jamar Chase is a very, very special talent. So we will be talking about that combination of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow coming up. So we definitely going to be talking about that. Ant says the price on the brick just went through for Chase. As you guys know, this offseason, the Cincinnati Bengals approached Jamar Chase and said, hey, we want to give you a pay raise. We want to give you a contract extension, yada, yada, yada. They dangled out that carrot in front of him. This was before JJ got signed. This was before CeeDee Lamb got signed. The Bengals had the opportunity to make Chase the highest paid receiver in the NFL. They kept dangling that carrot, and Chase is like, this is what I want, whatever. They're like, oh, no. All of a sudden, JJ gets his money. Oh, no. So, like, all of a sudden, CD gets his, like his money. Jamar Chase, like, we're done talking about this. You know my price. You guys just F up. You just F'd up, Ron. And to be honest, the Cincinnati Bengals did mess up by not signing Jamar Chase this offseason because we've seen what he can do all by himself. We know what he could do and will do moving forward, and I think he is going to be on a different team moving forward. My cousin-in-laws, my wife's cousins, are big Cincinnati Bengals fans. They're all from that area, and they're big Cincinnati Bengals fans, and they all kind of see the writing on the wall. They all kind of like, man, we messed up. Meaning the Cincinnati Bengals organization. They messed up by not signing Jamar Chase this offseason, and I think he is going to go get that bag, and the Bengals will be like, oh, we messed up. He's going to go to some team we're not expecting, whether it's like, I don't know, who can afford some dollar bills? The Packers, the Jets. It's going to be some team out there. He's going to get his money. He's going to get paid. He's going to be like Tyreek Hill and kind of just flung it off into the wind and never win a Super Bowl because he went to the team that doesn't do anything. But that's besides the point. Jim Powell says, show me on the doll where Jim touched you and made you sad. I didn't think the NFL rigged. It's just irony that the Chiefs fans talking about flags. Well, Jim, let me grab this paper. Picture this is like we got the head here, body, foot. See this area right here in the middle, right around the waist area? That is where you were touching me, and that's where I don't like it, Jim. I'm just playing. But it is ironic that the Chiefs fan is talking about flags, right? But it is what it is. My man Derek's in the chat. What's up, Derek? Good morning to you as well. Good sir. It is afternoon here on the East Coast time, 1:30 East Coast time. We are live every Monday through Friday right here, 1:30 East Coast time. And of course, on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 9 p.m. East Coast time with the After Hours show. What else you guys talking about? Ant says Burrow should ride if they don't sign his boy. I don't know. I can see Jameis. Ann says he can see Jamar Chase going to the NFC Commanders or Packers. Commanders got a lot of room to play, but they got like $30 million in cap space or whatever it is, right? You put Jamar Chase with Scary Terry, oh boy. With Jaden Daniels, oh boy. Look out. Super Bowl is right around the corner, right? Super Bowl is right around the corner. But let's get into today's show, guys. Let's start talking some NFL football, and let's start with last night. Let's start with the last night's game. Let's start with the foul that wasn't a foul last night, because this has been hashed out, talked about to wits end, right? But as you guys know, by now, the Cincinnati Bengals did lose to the Baltimore Ravens 35-34 last night. They did hold a 21-7 lead with 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter. An exciting fourth quarter gave the Bengals a chance to tie or go into basically what happened. The Bengals were down by 7. They scored a touchdown, makes it 35-34. Zach Taylor decided to go for 2, which he did not go for the tie. He went for 2. They ultimately failed on the 2-point conversion. On that final drive, when we look at the final drive in general, there were many flags on the Baltimore Ravens. There's that 15-yard face mask on the tight end. There was a personal foul on Joe Burrow where the was a defensive tackle tackled him too hard, drove him into the ground, I guess. But when it got down to the two-point conversion, the referees decided to swallow the whistle. We saw the holding on Mike Krzyzewski. Was it a little ticky-tacky? Sure, but he threw up his arms, definitely spun around or whatnot. But the biggest non-miss call was the direct blow to Joe Burrow's face when he was hit as he threw the ball. So listening to people across the league, listening to the broadcast last night, one thing that raised my ears a little bit was when Ryan Fitzpatrick said on the post-game broadcast that the flag should not have been called on either Joe Burrow or Mike Krzyzewski. Am I saying his name right? Probably not. But Ryan Fitzpatrick come out and said the flag shouldn't have been thrown or called because it did not affect the play. So just because a foul occurred over here or after the fact, it did not affect the play. So my logical brain started to think here, right? My logical brain started to think. So let's just say Joe Burrow completes the pass and he gets hammered he doesn't complete the pass, but he gets hammered in the face 2 seconds after the fact. Yes or no, guys, in the chat, should that be a flag? How about let's put Lamar Jackson there or Patrick Mahomes, any quarterback, right? You throw the ball, it's an incomplete pass, but then a hand comes out and forcibly hits you in the face and knocks you over. Is that a flag? Yes or no? The answer to that question is yes. Simple, right? Roughing the passer, illegal hands to the face, whatever you want to call it. Did it affect the play? No, it did not affect the play at all. So in Ryan Fitzpatrick's mind, since me hitting you in the face 2 seconds after the ball is passed, is thrown, it does not affect the play. I can do it because it doesn't affect you, right? So then we think about this. How about all these holding calls on defense we see all the time, right? I see it on the Kansas City Chiefs all the time. Patrick Mahomes is looking right. He throws the ball right, never once looks left. Right. Somewhere far left field, a flag comes flying 50 yards in because a defender is holding Travis Kelce when he's trying to run his out route. Did that affect the play? No. Patrick Mahomes looking right the whole time. Threw right, completed right, did all this right. This was all on the left. Did that affect the play? No. But yet here comes the flag. So it doesn't matter if it's a penalty that doesn't affect the play or it's affecting a play. A foul is a foul at the end of the day. And it pisses me off in basketball the most, right? A foul that's in the first quarter should be a foul that's in the fourth quarter. Oh, we got to let him play. It's the final minute. No, A foul is a foul is a foul. It doesn't matter the time of game. It doesn't matter the situation. It doesn't matter what quarter it is. It doesn't matter if you're trying to make a statement and make the game close. If you're going to call it in the fourth quarter, call it in the first quarter. If you're going to call it in the second quarter, call it the final play of the game. The simple fact of the matter is that I do not think the Bengals would have made that two-point conversion, whether that pass was caught or not. I don't know who was defending him here, but you guys see the graphic down here at the bottom of the screen. He had great coverage on him. The ball, I mean, he tackled him right as the ball was there, and he probably would have fell about 6 inches short, right? Let's just be honest. But illegal hands to the face, the holding, it doesn't matter what happened previously on the drive. The Ravens, I don't know. The face mask was definitely a face mask kind of right on Mike Krzyzewski earlier in the drive that extended the play 15 yards. But the driving of the quarterback into the ground, that's kind of BS, right? I mean, what do you want me to do? Put a pillow on him and kind of roll over and hurt myself? It's stupid. But regardless, a foul is a foul is a foul. So we understand that this penalty potentially changed the outcome, or the non-penalty potentially changed the outcome of the game. We saw it last Thursday night. Was it 2 Thursday nights ago when the Rams tore off Sam Darnold's face, right? Tore it off, completely missed. Would it have changed the outcome of the game? Probably not, but it could have, right? So let me ask you guys this question. When we look at flags across the NFL, when we look at penalties across the NFL, if it's a flag in the first quarter, should it be a flag in the fourth quarter? Simple yes or no. Let me know. Let me know what you guys personally think. If it's a flag in the first drive, is it a flag on the last drive? Or let's even take it one step further. If I've thrown a flag of roughing the quarterback already twice on this drive, and then they do it again on the third drive, but it's the final play of the game, it's the game deciding play, I don't want to do it. Do you do it? I mean, this is what makes referees have such a bad rap. This is what makes the NFL have this rigged stigmatism. This is what makes people like the Bengals fans upset. This is what makes like the teams that are playing the Kansas City Chiefs upset. It's because you see these flags not in the first quarter, not in the second quarter, but all of a sudden they come in the fourth quarter. They come in critical situations, right? But then on the flip side of the coin, you do see the flags in the first quarter. You do see the flags in the second quarter, but in the critical situations, you don't see the flag. Just be freaking consistent. Like, that's all I want to know is be consistent. Like, I want to know that if I'm jamming you on the first quarter and we're not calling a flag and I've been doing it all day long, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter comes around, Patrick Mahomes is driving, I'm jamming. He's on the opposite side of the field as me, and then all of a sudden you call a holding? Like, why? Like, I get it, but why? Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments here. WBN says people will bring that up, but won't be bringing up the fact that they blew a 14-point lead in the 14-point lead in the 4th and 10, where the dude's knee is clearly down before he hits the first down marker. Well, and let's go back to that 4th down play. It was a first down. Yes, his knee did hit half a yard, a full yard before that 40-yard down marker, but it is where the ball is at. It was a great call. We had a great view of it. It was right there on the line. It was very, very cut and dry. If you want to go that route, Ant, yes, they did blow a 21-7 point lead. Yes, the game was completely changed, turned on his head in the third quarter when Chase Brown fumbled that ball. Hamilton came in there, ripped that ball out. Beautiful play. Game-changing drive. If you even want to take it one step further, how about when the wide receiver, was it Williams, running down the sideline? To me, looked like his heel was a good 2 inches on the white. But they're like, oh, no, it didn't touch. I don't know. I mean, you do run on your toes, but if it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, it is a duck, right? Looked like to me it was a good 2 inches outside. So that play alone changed the whole outcome of the game. What was it? 89-yard pass, 87-yard pass. The Bengals missed like 3 tackles, try to shove him out of bounds, just tackle the damn dude for one. But it is what it is. If you want to fix all that, just take freaking replay out of the game. That will fix all of that, because then you can't overturn those calls. A call stands on the field. It is what it is. Sorry about your luck. I missed it. But then if you go to replay and you still miss it, then we have a problem. Just take replay out. James Frank says it's most definitely is a flag. At the end of the game, definitely throw the damn flag. We're tired of it. Ant says it definitely did not affect the play, but it was roughing the passer. And that is my point exactly. Like, I don't know why Ryan Fitzpatrick said since it didn't affect the play, he shouldn't have thrown the flag, right? How do you know it wasn't going to affect the play? Like, that's the main thing, right? We are in the freaking NFL. We saw Lamar Jackson run like 20 yards backwards and then somehow run forward and was still looking to freaking pass. Like, he could have, it was on the right side of the field. He could have easily threw all the way across the left side of his body. But let's say the cornerback over there, Taylor Britt, right, is holding Zay Flowers like at that particular time. Of course, it's not affecting the play now, but if Lamar Jackson throws it, bada bing, bada boom, all of a sudden he is holding and Zay Flowers can't run his route, it affects the play. Everything will affect the play at some point, whether it's offensive holding, defense of offsides. If you see the foul, call the damn foul. Like, that is all we ask at the end of the day, is keep it consistent throughout the game. We understand people are human. People make mistakes. People do get a little bit more antsy toward the end of the game, swallow the whistle per se, or be a little bit more whistle happy. But just try to keep it consistent and call the foul. That's all we ask. That's really all we ask. Derek says, I didn't see it, but the defensive player in the air when he threw it. I didn't see it, but was the defensive player in the air when he threw it? Are you talking about the 2-point conversion, Derek? So this graphic that is on the screen here, Ant, I don't know who your guy is down here at the bottom tackling the tight end there, but he made a hell of a play. It doesn't matter if the defensive player was in the air or not. This defensive player for the Ravens made a beautiful play on that tight end. He wrapped him up and then swatted it down. He did everything picture perfect. There is no flag there whatsoever. That is picture perfect defense, 100%. And Derek says, was he in the air on the Joe Burrow hit? So if I remember correctly, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but the defensive player, it was the nose guard. I don't know who it was. I should have got the name. But he basically bull rushed the guard or center. Blew him completely over, blew him into Joe Burrow. But in the process of being ran over, of course, the lineman wants to grab and pulls down the defensive lineman as well. And then the arm came down across Joe Burrow's face from like the top all the way down. So you could have called illegal hands to the face mask, obviously roughing the passer. Could have also been called holding because because offensive lineman was holding the defensive guy on the way down. There's a lot of missed flags on that particular play. Everett Johnson's in the chat. He was a anniversary follower. Well, what's up, Everett? He says, I thought the interception would stand. Looked like he drug the first foot inbounds and the second one out of bounds. Oh, and the second one was inbounds. What interception are you talking about? Are you talking about the Bengals interception that Lamar Jackson was rolling to the left? The Bengals guy had it. At that particular point, it was 21-7. He had it. They called it an interception, but then they overturned it. He was definitely inbounds, but the ball hit the turf. So if we're talking about that interception, the ball hit the turf. He was definitely inbounds, but the ball hit the turf. I don't know what other interception you could possibly be talking about. So if you could clarify that, and it's also not always just having both feet in bounds. It's also controlling the catch, right? Like you have to control the catch, no bobbling or like anything, just like that. So a referee looks at three things when you catch the ball, right? First of all, do you catch it? And when you catch it, when do you secure the catch? Once you secure the catch, then the eyes go down to the feet. Are the feet in bounds when you finally secure the ball? Then once you see the 2 feet down, the ball is secured, then your eyes go back up and you watch the ball and watch it fall. So once you hit the ground, does the ball move, right? So you have to catch the ball, secure it, both feet down, and then fall, and then still secure the ball. That if we're talking about an interception, probably what happened was because cornerbacks are not great with the ball security, right? He probably caught it, got both feet down, and was tackled, and probably fumbled the ball in the end. So that's kind of what I think what you're talking about, but I don't know. I'd have to see the play to really look at it, Everett. James Frank says Miles gets held so much with no calls, and then they'll call it on us at the very next drive. I'm not complaining, but that's what flag is thrown. Like he says, he's not complaining, but the flags get thrown on us, but not the flag is a flag. Correct. There are. So as a coach, right? As a coach in high school and college level and arena ball, you have a official on your sideline. First things first is you want to make friends with that official on your sideline. You do not want to dog him. You do not want to give him any crap whatsoever, because if he respects you, you respect him. You can get a lot of information, and sometimes a lot of calls go just for example, hey, number 54 was lined up a little bit on the neutral zone. Next play, get him back, or I'm going to throw a flag on him. That's what happens. In the Browns situation, probably what is happening is that referee on the sidelines, here's y'all chirping. They're fucking holding them. They're holding them there like they are cheating, yada, yada, yada. And then you go to that referee, your head coach goes to that referee and says, hey, can you watch holding on number 99? We think he is being held. Can you take a look at that? Let the Mr. Head official know that calls a holding. Can you please take a look at it, right? Then they radio over him, hey, they think he's being held. Can you see what's happening? Can we watch that? Once that information gets over to that referee, it's usually the next series, right? The next offense is on the field. He's not seeing color. He's not seeing like numbers, names. He's just seeing, do I see holding over here? And then all of a sudden, boom, holding. Yeah, let me throw it. Are you happy now? I mean, like, that's kind of what it is, right? So it is what it is. WBN says, oh, yeah, that one that Steven caught in the end zone. I don't remember that interception, guys. I'm going to have to go back and watch the game. I don't remember that interception. James Chambers in the chat. What's up, James? He says, it seems like the refs are starting to do this intentionally. So, James, replay has killed the NFL officiating, right? Because the NFL referees and college refs in general are college refs are terrible because we freaking replay everything, which is stupid. A 2-hour game lasts like 4.5 hours. It's stupid. But NFL officials are taught to swallow the whistle, right? On turnovers, on scoring drives, they are taught to swallow the whistle. So if a interception happens and if they just say, yeah, he caught it, whatever, right? They can instantly go to replay and review that play. Now, if it was an interception and they called it incomplete, technically there's no turnover, so therefore they can't go back and review that play to assure he, quote, caught it. Same thing on touchdowns, right? If it's any question, right, you are going to call something a touchdown because all scoring drives are reviewed. So this is why replay needs to be abolished in the NFL. It's because they are taught to rely on the replay for turnovers and scores and this and this and this and the whole expedited review crap. That needs to be gone because it is causing the officiating to not watch things as closely or let things go more frequently because they're taught to like, hey, let's let replay handle this. So that's why it seems like it's being intentional, right? We are intentionally calling something a interception when we clearly know he's a foot out of bounds, but let's just call it, let's review it, and let's, quote, get it right. So it is what it is. Derek says the Thursday night games are a joke. I like the extra game, but it is not working. I have been a firm believer that I do not like Thursday night games. I have gone on the record many, many times. I think Thursday night games are stupid, asinine, asinine, right? We should have Thursday night games on Thanksgiving, and football should be played on Sundays and Mondays. Once they realized that they could start making money on Thursday night games, right? Because they started doing the opening night, Thursday night games, like, hey, this is the marquee matchup, Super Bowl champions at home. We're going to give them their rings and their banners, yada, yada, yada. Once they saw how many viewers, how much money that was making in, they're like, Thanksgiving makes money. This game's making money. Let's make it all Thursday games, right? And then for a while there, they only had Thursday night games to like week 7, I think it was. I think it was from so it was from opening week to Thanksgiving, they had Thursday night games. And then all the rest of the games are still on Sunday and Monday. But now they're like, oh, man, we're losing all that money. We need more people on TV. Basketball is trying to compete with us. Thursday night games, boom. The problem with Thursday night games is this is how you fix Thursday night games. If you're going to have a team, 2 teams, let's say the Baltimore Ravens and Bengals are playing Thursday night, the week before they need to have a bye week. They need to have a bye week the week before so they can properly prepare, properly heal for said opponent, right? These 4 nights off, these 3 nights off in between games is not enough for an NFL player or an athlete in general to heal from a football game. Hell, basketball players, right, play every 4 nights or whatever it is, right? And many of them are not 100% the very next day anyways. And yes, I know basketball is not as physical a game as the NFL, but they're running and jumping and whatever, but they're still nice and spaced out. Very, very rarely do they play back-to-back games. Baseball is just a different animal. That's just weird. But if you want to fix Thursday night games, make the 2 teams before Thursday night game have the bye week. There's smart enough people out there that can make it happen. So I don't care about the marquee matchup, the Bengals versus the Ravens or the Steelers versus the Browns, whatever. Just give me a good Thursday night game that doesn't suck, and that'll be a lot of fix here. And says, I got to give respect to Joe Burrow, though. Dude is a tough and a baller. Guys, Joe Burrow is definitely very, very tough. I've listened to a couple of his interviews. He seems very soft-spoken, kind of very shy-like. But when he is in the zone, he is like, don't F with me, man. Don't F with me. And says, let's talk about the damn cameraman too far showing that replay of Henry's cheek. That was nasty, nasty work. People calling him BBL Henry after that. Listen, Ant, I posted something on our Facebook page, and I've watched probably 7 Ravens games live, right? From start to finish. Now, I do watch probably 90% of the NFL games, but I do it in the catch 22, so you can watch the whole game in about 30 minutes, right? But it seems like every freaking play when Lamar Jackson scrambles and he gets tackled, he's pulling up his pants too. Derrick Henry, half the game was pulling up his his pants as well. These players are in the freaking NFL. Get them some pants that fit. Give them, put some tape around it. I remember when I was in 5th grade, I was a skinny SOB. I was 6'2", 110 pounds. So I needed long enough pants to cover my freaking knees, but they're extra larger. So we had to wrap those bitches, tape that up, boom, 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 just to keep the pants up. Put some tape around. I don't care. Do something. It is stupid. Good Lord. But get those man some pants that fit. Derrick Henry, that man's a brick ass shit house. You're telling me you can't find pants that fit? Come on now. Come on, man. James Shemmer says, no, I mean like no calls that are blatantly holding, face mask, and false starts. I understand in turnovers and touchdowns, very close plays on touchdowns and interceptions, they should be called and reviewed. But seems like the NFL referees are blatantly missing holding and face mask calls. So James, let me give you an example. The referees have certain zones that they look at on the field, right? The only reason why I know this is because as a head coach, I take the reffing test every year just to learn the rules and make sure I know the rules inside and out. But referees are searching at zones, right? Let's flash back to the Rams-Vikings game. When that referee was looking right at them, right, and saw Sam Darnold and the other guy come. That referee was in a good position. He was where he was at. He's in there looking for holding calls. So his job is to look for holding calls and looking for roughing of the passer plays, right? He sees Sam Darnold looking over to his left. The player is coming to his left. His left arm is out, right? Left, left, and left. All of a sudden, that's a triple negative. 3 wrongs don't make a right. So, and it looked like, and from my vantage point, what he was looking at from the picture that I saw, it looked like he was grabbing his chest and pulling him like him down. Referees sometimes are just in bad positions, but just because we see it on TV doesn't necessarily mean that the referee is looking in that particular zone, right? Because they have zones. There are what? 2 guys in the back, the guy up top, 2 sideline guys, and 2 guys deep. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. So you have 7 guys watching 22. So in theory, that is 1 guy per 3. On the line, example, you have 10, 11, 12 guys at one time coming into your zone. You have to have like a wide angle and kind of hope for the best. And usually people have to like show that I'm holding, right? So it is getting bad, but at the same time, it is what it is. Frank says, Ant, you just put the whole beat in my head again. Oh, man. I love it. I love it. But blown calls, right? Blown calls. But now let's talk more about the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's talk about what did the Cincinnati Bengals potentially show us on Thursday Night Football. Did the Bengals prove to you guys anything last night on Thursday Night Football? Yesterday, my man John said that he would not be surprised if the Bengals went out. After they lost to this Ravens team, they would win 8 games in a row, making them playoff contenders and beating out the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase definitely balled out last night. And guys, to be honest, this might be the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the NFL. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Best quarterback duo in the NFL. But did the Bengals prove to you anything last night? One thing that I think they proved to me is that they can score points at will. The Bengals, when they want to play good football, they can step up and score at will. The problem is the Bengals rise up to their competition, but then they also lower down their standards to their competition. The Bengals are not good enough to do that, right? When they lost week 1 to the New England Patriots, definitely a superior team. They played down to them, overlooked them per se, lost by 6 points. Insert week 2, battled the Kansas City Chiefs. Probably should have beat the Kansas City Chiefs week 2, lost by 1 point. Then they stepped up to the Washington Commanders, battled them, only lost by 5 points. But then they let the Panthers hang around. Then they let the Browns hang around. Then they let the Giants hang around. But then they go out there and they dominate the Raiders, which they should, and then they compete with the Ravens. The one thing that I learned from the Bengals last night is this is a team that you do not want to let them into the playoffs. If this team makes the playoffs, they can upset a lot of people in the playoffs. The defense is suspect, right? The defense could get a little bit better. They could run the ball a little bit more. Chase Brown only rushed for 13 carries for 42 yards. Of course, the fumble did cost them that game. Let's just be honest. It wasn't an interception there. It wasn't interception there. It was a simple fumbling of the ball of the third quarter. That cost them the game. But the Bengals proved to me that they are a capable team of winning in the playoffs. If the Bengals can make the playoffs, they proved to me last night that I do not want to play them. If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I do not want to play the Bengals. If I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I do not want to play the Bengals. If I'm the Bills or Steelers, I do not want to play the Bengals. So, guys, if you are a Ravens fan, if you are a Chiefs fan, Steelers fan, Houston Texans fan, who else? Chargers fan, you better be rooting against the Bengals every game from here on out. When they play the Steelers and Cowboys and Titans, you better be those biggest fans, right? I see that they are a good team. I see that they are a Super Bowl caliber team. If they make it to the playoffs, they're going to probably win a couple games. So, guys, what did you see from the Bengals last night? What did they prove to you? James says the Bengals are coming alive right now. The Bengals coming alive right now is right on the Bengals schedule. And to be honest, the Bengals schedule is pretty favorable moving forward, right? They play the Cowboys, Titans, Browns, and Broncos 4 weeks in a row. Right before week 18 matchup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They win those 4 games. Bada bing, bada boom, they are 8 wins. And if they could upset the Chargers or Steelers at one point in this particular season, they're a playoff team. Do not let the Bengals in. Mark D, what's up, Mark? We do not like the Chargers. We need to be rooting for the Chargers on Sunday Night Football next week. And you do not like the Steelers. You should be rooting for the Steelers in 2 weeks when the Steelers play the Bengals. Everybody hates the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just be honest. Everybody hates them. You better be rooting for the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football when Homer Simpson and the Dallas Cowboys take on Marge Simpson and the Cincinnati Bengals. You better be a Cowboys fan. James, I know you are a Browns fan, and you better be rooting for the Browns come December 19th. You guys better hope that the Bengals lose 4 more games quickly here, or 3 games actually, quickly. You better hope they lose them quickly because you do not want to see them in the playoffs. Mark says it was a great game last night. It definitely was a great game last night. But an Ant wants to come out and says, Sissy Cincinnati. How do you say it? It's Cincinnati, but he's saying sissy with Cincinnati. Ain't proved shit to me last night. They just went against a terrible, and I mean terrible, secondary. Those dudes shouldn't be allowed on the bus. Okay. True. Devon Furr, what's up, man? That's a new name in the chat. Glad you're here today, man. He says, they proved to me that they are losers. They proved to me that they can compete with anybody on any given Sunday. And if they sneak into the playoffs, they're going to upset the Ravens because you know how it is. You know how hard it is to beat a team 3 times in a season? Not going to happen, right? The Kansas City Chiefs better be on their P's and Q's when they play the Bengals like in the playoffs. The Bengals are a playoff team. They're built for the playoffs, and they're going to step up to that competition, and don't let them in there. Mark says, Joe Burrow is the man, the myth, the legend. Guys, let me ask you this question, because we spoke on MVP talk a little bit yesterday, right? And when I put Joe Burrow's name up there, you all kind of like, Joe Burrow? What are you talking about, Buck? Joe Burrow's stupid. He's terrible. Can we officially start putting Joe Burrow up in that MVP conversation? Should we be talking about Joe Burrow as a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the NFL year after year after year? One of the biggest Joe Burrow haters, Lamont Brown, consistently in my comment section, dogging Joe Burrow, dogging Josh Allen, dogging Patrick Mahomes, right? He is all Lamar all the time. He even said it last night. He can no longer hate Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow proved that he is a top dog in the NFL. Can we start talking bad about Joe, guys? That's definitely yes. Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback in the year in the NFL. Yes, he's a little fragile, right? But it is what it is. And says, I will never root for the opposition. Bring them on. Bring them on. I always root for whoever's playing the Steelers, Bengals, and Ravens. I love the AFC North banter going on here, guys. Devon says, look at the teams the Bengals beat, all losing teams. They lose to good teams on their schedule. They're bad. And their schedule, they're as bad. Team Joe and Chase. Wait, look at the teams the Bengals beat, all losing teams. Period. Let's work on punctuations. They lose to all the good teams on their schedule. Period. They're a bad team. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are fire. Devin, you are correct. You are correct. They step up to the competition, but they also step down to the competition. That is why currently they will never be a great team. But if they do play the competition up all the time, they could be a great team. It's just some teams are built like that. Raiders, for example, like to step up to the competition, but they like to step down too. James says, I wouldn't worry about the Ravens in the playoffs. Lamar will fold up like he always does when the lights get turned on. So last season, I think Lamar Jackson kind of broke that narrative a little bit, right? Now, I was on Lamar Jackson bad about the playoffs, about how passing, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Yes, the play calling did call for passes, but Lamar Jackson could have checked out of said plays, whatever, right? But I think Lamar Jackson has finally broke that narrative. Now we'll see in the wild card round if they can finally upset some people and, him continuing to win playoff games. Only time will tell, but I think he broke that narrative last year finally. James Frank says, when they play each other, I just hope the players like ball out. Yeah, I agree. Remind me of the 2022 Miami Dolphins. Yeah, about them, right? Mark D says, Cincinnati needs to pay Jamar Chase, and I bet they won't. They already dangled that carrot, and that cart has already gone. The cart is always, I believe Ant said it, he probably end up as a Commander or a Packer. Makes sense. James says, literally like 28 or 30 teams would trade for Joe Burrow without hesitation. Same with Dak Prescott, right? Same with Dak Prescott. But guys, we are getting ready to go into hour number 2 of this Week 10 NFL Talk Friday edition of Man Hour NFL Radio. And segment 2 that I have planned for today is must-win weekend. I have 4 teams up here that guys we're going to talk about. Do they need to win? Is Week 10 must-win weeks for these said players, or said teams, I should say. And the first team that I want to talk about is Mark D's team, and that is the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos heading into Week 10, currently struggling. Can we say that? Can they struggle? But previously they have been playing decent football. The Broncos did have won 5 out of their last 6 before they took that beat down to the Baltimore Ravens in Week 9. The defense have been the bright point for this Denver Broncos team most of the season. They're currently ranked 6th in the NFL. The offense has been shady at best, but getting better in that 5-game. Like in those 5 games that they did win, the offense was improving each and every week. But they are currently ranked 25th in the NFL, which is worse than the Jets, Jaguars, Saints, and the Dallas Cowboys. The Denver Broncos do play the Chiefs this weekend, and then they follow up with the Falcons, Raiders, and Browns the following weeks. Currently, right now, if they were to win this weekend, they have a 73% chance of making the playoffs, and if they were to lose, they're in a 49% chance of making the playoffs. So, guys, Week 10, Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Is this a must-win game for the Denver Broncos? And prior to Week 9, going into Week 9, before the Denver Broncos played the Baltimore Ravens, I slid them into number 10 in my power rankings. I started to believe in them, and I started like, hey, they've won 5 out of 6, they're looking pretty good. But when we go back and look at those wins over the Jets, Raiders, Saints, and Panthers, nothing really to write home about. They did beat the Buccaneers in that stretch, right? Giving them the first win on the season. But the simple fact of the matter is that the Broncos are in a must-win situation. If the Broncos want to make a playoff push, they need to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They need to compete with a top team in the AFC. And when we look at the teams in the AFC that they have played, every top team they have played, a potential playoff bound team, they have lost. They've lost to the Chargers, they lost to the Ravens, and if they lose this week, then they've lost to the Chiefs as well. All potential playoff teams. Now in the AFC, they have won one game, two games, and they also lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've only beaten the Las Vegas Raiders. So the Denver Broncos have a lot to prove, right? They have a lot to prove. 73% chance to make the playoffs if you beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Not because you beat the Kansas City Chiefs, but because that momentum of being the Kansas City Chiefs will carry you on for the next weeks. Guys, I 100% think that this week is a must-win for the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos need to go in there and they need to compete at Arrowhead Stadium, have flashbacks, make the Chiefs have PTSD of Christmas Day for the Las Vegas Raiders, and then the Denver Broncos can be like, you remember November 10th? Right? It's just the simple fact of the matter. This is a tipping point for the Denver Broncos season. Whether they're going to have a playoff season, a good season, or they're going to have a bad season. They're right there on the teeter-totter, right? Teeter-totter, we could be good if we compete and beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and teeter-totter bad if we lose in Kansas City and get beat down. This is a must-win. What do you guys think? Is this game versus the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs a must-win game for the Denver Broncos? James Frank says this is a must-win. They won't beat Kareem Hunt and the game, but it is a must-win. James, I think you're correct. I think you are correct. It is definitely a must-win. Now, another must-win game this particular weekend, or it could not be, is the Indianapolis Colts. This Colts team is very, very confusing to me. Like, I don't know what the Colts are, right? They do play the Buffalo Bills this weekend, but they're currently on a 2-game losing streak. They've lost to the Texans and Vikings. Of course, they're both on the road. After the Buffalo Bills, they play at Jets, they play the Detroit Lions, and then they play at the Patriots. Right now, the Colts have a 42% chance to make the playoffs if they were to win this game. If they were to lose this game, they have a below 20% chance of making the playoffs. Their offense is miserable, ranked 22nd in the NFL. Yes, insert Joe Flacco, supposed to be better, right? Not so fast, right? The defense, even worse, ranked 29th in the NFL. Buffalo Bills are flying high. Buffalo Bills are a good team. Buffalo Bills are currently ranked second in the AFC playoff picture. Colts, is this a must-win? It depends on how you look at the Indianapolis Colts. Do you think the Indianapolis Colts can make a playoff push? Do you think a team like the Indianapolis Colts can sneak into a wild card and win a wild card game? Can Joe Flacco get him on his scurry and make it a playoff push like he did for the Cleveland Browns last season? I think he could. But this is not what's best for the Indianapolis Colts at this point. What is best for the Indianapolis Colts at this point is to kind of tank the rest of the season. If they were to tank for the rest of the season, they could get a top 5, top 6 picks in this year's draft. They could potentially get some more offensive help. Michael Pittman Jr., been chronic injury report, back issues all season long. JT, don't know if he's coming or going, right? Yes, he did sign a good deal this offseason, but he is injured as well. Anthony Richardson, you don't know if he's the quarterback of the future or not. Certainly, Joe Flacco is not. Joe Flacco is a quarterback that's here right now. So when I look at the Indianapolis Colts, 46% chance of making the playoffs if they win, below 20% chance if they lose. I almost want them to lose this game. I want them to lose this game so they can actually start thinking for the future. Put Anthony Richardson back in there. What do we got in this guy? We're going to have a top 5 pick anyways. Do we need to go get a quarterback? Do we need a receiver? Do we need some line alignment? Like, what do we need? The Colts don't need to win this game. The Colts actually need to lose this game. The Indianapolis Colts need to go come home and start taking it on the chin. Lose to the Bills, lose to the Jets, lose to the Lions. Give me a 5-game losing streak, and then let's start talking about draft, right? The Colts do not need to win this game at all. What do you guys think? Is this a must-win for the Indianapolis Colts? Should the Colts win this game? That's the better question. I'm saying no. I don't think the Colts need to win this game at all. Derek says, I'd love to see Flacco, Lamar in a playoff game. It would be much-watched TV, right? Officially passer of the torch, right? I won a Super Bowl. Now you go win a Super Bowl, but both teams are going to probably be wild cards if that were to happen. So I'm just saying. James Frank says, with Flacco at the helm, absolutely. This is a must win. Okay. WBN says this is a must win. In the words of Buck, they will shit the bed against the Chargers, Chiefs, and Bengals and Falcons. Probably. Must win. Flacco into Baltimore and taking them would be epic. I mean, seriously though, if the Colts were to play the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs, obviously the Ravens would probably be a higher seed. They have like a 96% chance of making the playoffs. But wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something if Joe Flacco did upset Lamar Jackson in the playoffs? Like, I mean, I see like the Ravens, kind of like, ha, you thought I was done. Ha ha ha. Here I am. 8 years later, still balling. But I don't think the Colts should win this game. I think they should lose. This game. San Francisco 49ers. Another must-win-ish type of situation in Week 10. When you look at the San Francisco 49ers, they have been suspect this year at best, right? They do play the Buccaneers this week, coming off of their bye week. CMC is scheduled to play in Week 10. Everything is pointing that he will play versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And when you look at the San Francisco 49ers schedule moving forward, they do play the Buccaneers, Seahawks, at Green Bay Packers, at the Buffalo Bills. Right now, they're sitting at a 40% or 42% chance of making the playoffs. If they win this game, it jumps to a 64% chance. If they lose this game, it drops down to a 40% chance to make it into the NFC playoffs. Currently, their defense is ranked 10th in the NFL, and the offense is ranked 2nd. The offense is flying sky high without Christian McCaffrey. We spoke about Christian McCaffrey yesterday and how he was not the end-all, be-all for the San Francisco 49ers. But when you look at the San Francisco 49ers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is this a must-win situation for the for the San Francisco 49ers? And honestly, guys, this is a must-win for either one of those teams. Buccaneers, 49ers, both teams need to win badly, right? The 49ers, yes, they are starting to look good, starting to get healthy, starting to ball out. Second-ranked offense in the NFL. Slow it down, baby. They have won 2 of their last 3, beating the Seahawks at Seahawks and then beating the Dallas Cowboys. What needs to happen is the San Francisco 49ers need to go into Tampa Bay, Florida, 1 o'clock East Coast time. What's that? 10 o'clock on the West Coast. They need to go out there and they need to dominate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers need to dominate the San Francisco 49ers, but this is a must-win on both sides of the ball. If the 49ers can get hot and they can beat the Buccaneers and Seahawks and sweep the Seahawks season series and then go into Lambeau and beat down the Green Bay Packers, all of a sudden we are talking about them as Super Bowl favorites. All of a sudden we're saying, oh, Brock Purdy, you are an MVP quarterback still. Oh, Deebo Samuels, you are still the guy. CMC, thank you for coming back. And CMC is going to get a lot of the credit because he is back and they beat the Buccaneers, Seahawks, and Packers, right? But let's just be honest, that offense is flying sky high anyways. Defense, even though how bad they have been, still ranked 10th. They give up a lot of big plays. I've got just like a little bit of this. This is a must-win for the San Francisco 49ers. They need to go in there and they need to knock off a top team in the NFC and show them that they are for real. And then the next week, go to Seattle, do the same thing, and then do the same thing to the Green Bay Packers. This is the start of a very, very good season for the San Francisco 49ers after starting off really, really rough. Is this a must-win, guys? Is this a must-win? James says 49ers will win, but you already know I want my guy Baker to win. What makes you think that the San Francisco 49ers are going to win this game, James? Mike Evans is back. Fresh off of a bye week, right? Mike Evans is back. Baker Mayfield balling out. Team's getting healthy. This is going to be a game that I have circled and I'm going to watch 100%. 100%. Must win for the 49ers or not, guys. I think it is. I think it is a must win. Next up, the last must win potential team of week 10 before we get into contenders and pretenders. It is the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals, guys, are winners of 4 of their last 5 games. They play the Jets this weekend, and then after this, they play the Seahawks at Vikings, both of those games on the road, and then they play the Seahawks again. And the Seahawks got a brutal NFC West schedule coming up here. The Arizona Cardinals, guys, are surprisingly ranked 13th in the offense this season, 24th ranked on their defense. Currently, they're sitting at a 40% chance to make the playoffs. If they win this game, it's 53% chance, and they lose, it's down to a 33% chance. So, guys, do you think the Arizona Cardinals need to win this game? First things first is if you lose to the Jets, you're not very good, especially when you're at home. If you lose to the Jets at home, you are not a very good team in my book. And Arizona Cardinals are sitting top of the NFC West right now with the record of 5-4. Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks all have 4 wins, all half game behind each other. This is a must-win for the Arizona Cardinals. This is a must-win for the Arizona Cardinals because of the simple fact is that the 49ers are coming in hot. The Rams are coming in hot. The Seahawks are coming in hot. If the Cardinals want any chance to win the division or make it into a wild card, they're going to have to win this game. They have to win the winnable games because the Seahawks is no gimme. The Vikings is no gimme. But then they play the Patriots and Panthers the following weeks. They have to win those games because then they end the season with the Rams and the 49ers. This is going to be a heck of a season for the Arizona Cardinals. If they can turn around, go from a top 3 pick to a playoff team, this is a must-win for the Arizona Cardinals. This is a must-win for the Arizona Cardinals 100% because I think if they do win this game, versus the Jets and beat them handily, they can go into Seattle the following week and beat the Seahawks, and then we're singing a different tune. This team has been flying under the radar most of the schedule, and bada bing, bada boom, they're in the playoffs, and they're doing good things. Sorry, guys, I pushed the wrong button. My bad. So is this a must-win for the Arizona Cardinals or not? Devin says, look at the Steelers' schedule. They might lose 7 out of the 9 and miss the playoffs. No, they're not, Devin. No, they're not. The Steelers are a top team in the AFC. Adding Mike Williams, Devin, made them a Super Bowl team. Made them a Super Bowl caliber team, 100%. Now, they could, in theory, lose to the Commanders, which they should. It is a home game for Washington. Washington's a little bit better, right? But it's going to be a good battle. It's going to be a good measuring stick. Steelers always beat the Ravens, it seems like, right? Steelers, I think they swept the Ravens the last two seasons. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that has happened. But they're not losing to the Browns twice. They're not losing to the Bengals, and they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas Day. My Kansas City Chiefs, Devin, they are not losing 7 out of the next 9. Yes, the schedule does seem tough, right? But to say they're going to lose 7 out of the next 9, that means that the Ravens are sweeping them. That means that they're going to get beat by at least the Bengals once, at least the Ravens once, at least the Browns once. That's not going to happen. They're going to sweep the Browns. They're going to sweep the Bengals. They're going to split with the Ravens. But that right there is good enough to make you into the playoffs, Devin. What else you guys talking about here? Let's see. I like how you guys are having a conversation. That's awesome. I got the Steelers losing to Washington. Looking forward to that game. It is going to be a great game. James says, if Arizona loses this game, they might just need to shut it down and forfeit the rest of the season, probably. If you lose to the Jets, you should not be playing NFL games. Ant says, yeah, as a Ravens fan, I got to disagree with the Steelers losing 7 out of 9. I mean, it is a good possibility, right? It is a good possibility because why are they playing? I mean, when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, so when you look at the month of December, right? They play 3 games in 10 days. They play the Eagles, at the Ravens, and then they play Wednesday at home versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So it looks like to me they play Sunday game, and then they play a Thursday night game. No, what is that? I don't even know what the 21st is. So what is the 15th? What is December 15th? Is that a Thursday game? So December 15th is a Sunday game. So they play the Eagles on Sunday, and then they play the Ravens on Saturday, and then they turn around and play the Chiefs on that Wednesday. So they play 3 games in 5 days. That is tough. I mean, that I don't know why the NFL did that. That's stupid. That is asinine, but it is tough. They could, in theory, lose 2 of those 3 games. But on the other side of the coin, the Chiefs do the same thing. The Ravens will do the same thing. Not Christmas Day. I don't think they play Christmas Day. I think there's only 1 game Christmas Day, but they'll play 3 games in 13 days. It's just stupid. But James says, I hope Barkley hurdles 2 Steelers defenders backwards. Stupid. All right, guys, it is time to get into a little bit of contenders or pretenders. And today in NFL, contenders or pretenders. Every Friday we do NFL contenders or pretenders. This is all wild card teams. If the NFL playoffs were to start, these are all teams that would be wild card teams. That is the Baltimore Ravens, Denver Broncos, the LA Chargers in the NFC, 5, 6, 7 seed. And then the 7th seed, Green Bay Packers, 6th seed, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the 5th seed, Minnesota Vikings. So we are going to determine whether these teams are contenders or pretenders, and that is a 1 playoff win. If they can win the wild card game. So a contender is, yes, we think they can win a wild card game if the playoffs were to start today. A pretender is like, no, they're not going to win. They're not going to win a playoff game in general. So that being said, guys, play along in the comments below. Contenders and pretenders Friday. Let's get the party started, and we're going to start with the team that's been on everybody's mind right now. A team that everybody's been talking about, and that is the Baltimore Ravens. That is the Baltimore Ravens, guys. We're going to determine if they are contenders or pretenders. Remember, this is wild card edition. So as of right now, the Ravens are the 5th seed in the AFC playoff picture. So they are definitely a wild card team. And a contender is we think they can win a game, and pretenders think they're going to lose that game. So as of right now, guys, the Baltimore Ravens are 5th seed in the AFC. They did beat the Bengals on Thursday Night Football to improve their record to 7-3 on the season. They have won 7 out of their last 8. The defense, however, has been the weak point of the Ravens all season long. They have held their opponents to under 11 points twice this season. No single score games, and they're giving up their opponents 26 points per game. Their defense right now is ranked 27th in the NFL. They do, however, have one of the best offense in the NFL. Currently, they do have a 96% chance of making the playoffs, but only a 70% chance of being a wild card team. So people think they're going to win the division. So if the playoffs were to start right now, they would be a 5th seed. They would be in the playoffs as a wild card. But we got to ask the question, are the Baltimore Ravens contenders or pretenders? Do you think they're going to win a wild card game? And when I look at the Baltimore Ravens, I have said it, and I'll say it again. This is a team that if they are a wild card team, I think they are more dangerous in the playoffs. If they come into the NFL playoffs as a underdog, I think they are more dangerous. Teams will be kind of wanting to overlook them, right? Looking at them and just be like, it's the Ravens. It is a wild card. It is what it is. But on the other side of that, Lamar Jackson is playing at an MVP level. And if Lamar Jackson wins his third MVP, which would be back-to-back MVP, or actually would be back-to-back, right? MVPs, they would be like, okay, we really can't overlook them one bit whatsoever. If this game were to start today, they would be playing the Houston Texans in Houston in this game. However, I hyped up the Ravens thinking they're going to win, be a favorite as an underdog. I think they're going to be doing this, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But the simple fact of the matter is their defense is an issue. The defense for the Baltimore Ravens is an issue. And I think this is why they are pretenders. They can win all the games they want in the regular season. They can flex on the Cincinnati Bengals. They can flex on whoever else they are playing. But the simple fact of the matter is, when it's playoff time, when it is nuts crunch time, Lamar Jackson does have a proven history of pissing down his leg. The Baltimore Ravens coaching staff has a history of changing everything that got them to their point. We saw it last night. That they forgot about Derrick Henry. Legitimately, the Ravens forgot they have the best running back in the backfield of Derrick freaking Henry. Yes, he did find the end zone, but he ended up with like 50 some odd yards or something crazy. If they do that in the playoffs, I don't care if it's versus Houston. I don't care if they play the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs, or hell, even the Denver Broncos. If they forget to do that, they are going to be a one and done, and that's why I think they are pretenders. I think the Baltimore Ravens are pretenders because of the coaching staff. Coaching staff is the weakest point of the Baltimore Ravens. Year after year after year, they have a great team established. The defense has been amazing previous years. This year, it sucks. Flat out, the defense sucks. But they have an amazing offense. What's going to happen when they go to Houston or Buffalo or Pittsburgh? Everything that got them to this point, running the hell out of the ball, they're going to abandon. That's what the Ravens do. That's the Ravens' MO. And I like you, man. I enjoy our conversations, but if your coaching staff decides not to run the ball in the playoffs, we're talking about playoffs, they're going to lose. That's why I think they are pretenders. So, guys, in the comments below, do you think the Baltimore Ravens are contenders or pretenders this year in the NFL playoffs? James Frank says the Baltimore Ravens are contenders. As a Browns fan, he says contenders. Devin says, good stuff here, though, from my first time in the chat. You've been pretty good. Devin, we appreciate you being here, man. Hopefully you come back often. Every Monday through Friday, 1:30 East Coast time, we are here. And Derek says they are contenders as well, but fingers crossed. So Derek is praying that they're contenders because Derek knows deep down, Harbaugh shits himself in the playoffs. Since that Super Bowl, what has Harbaugh done? Dribbles down his leg a little bit, poops in his pants, is like, I don't know what to do. I forgot how to coach good football. Oh, our defense got us here, and Lamar run pass options. Keyword there is run pass options. All of a sudden, we're going to drop Lamar back 45 times in a game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Stupid, asinine. That's why they will always be pretenders until that is proven otherwise. Until the Ravens can go out there and be effective like they are in the regular season. Right now, Kansas City Chiefs, I do not want to play the Ravens at all. They're going to run the ball down our throat. Lamar Jackson going to run 58 yards backwards and then run another 40 yards forward and then throw it across the field. Like he is an athlete that you cannot stop. But in the playoffs, all that is out the window. Let's make Lamar Jackson a pocket quarterback. Let's make Lamar Jackson a one-dimensional player. That is stupid. Stop it. Stop it. Checking to see where my mind's at. Make sure I don't got to get the kid off the bus. I'm going to have to get kiddos off the bus here in a little bit. And says, we always do better as the underdogs. Honestly, Ant, in your defense, when was the last time the Ravens were the underdogs going into the playoffs? They've been the favorites last 4 or 5 seasons, right? And Ant says, you just being honest, Buck, but I respect your opinion. We are contenders, baby. I'm going to say slow it down. I think you are pretenders. James says, you already know my opinion on what Lamar would do. Little bit of dribble down his leg. By the way, those gold teeth are pretty nice. Well, actually, they're starting silver teeth, but those are pretty nice. I might have to give me a little something. Sorry, but guys, are the Baltimore Ravens contenders or pretenders? And I think they are pretenders. Next up, a team that is currently sitting, what are they sitting in? I think it's 7th seed in the AFC playoff picture. That is the Denver Broncos. We talked earlier about the Denver Broncos and how this is a must-win week for them. They do play the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend after getting beat down by the Baltimore Ravens. The bright side of the Broncos has been their defense. 6th-ranked defense, only giving up 16 points per game. Man, slow it down, baby. Where did this come from? Their offense, however, ranked 25th in the NFL, only scoring 20 points per game. Currently, they do have a 57% chance of making the playoffs currently. So as of right now, they are the 7th seed going into the playoffs. But when we look at the Denver Broncos, guys, in the playoff picture, are they contenders or are they pretenders? This is the good thing about the Denver Broncos is that they will be truly that underdog role. They will be truly sitting in that underdog role. Nobody has faith that they will even make it to the playoffs, let alone be a competitive in that realm, right? As a 7th seed, they'll be currently playing the Buffalo Bills. The good thing about the Denver Broncos is their defense. The defense always travels well. The offense has been the issue. Sean Payton has been deemed this offensive guru, but the offense is not really like shaping up to what we expect it to be, right? Now, during the 5 games that they won, 5 of 6, they were averaging 30-plus points per game, right? Hell, most of the season, besides the Jets and the Steelers, they have scored over 25 points. They are scoring points, but they're doing it late. Let's just be honest. They're tacking on points late and making it look kind of, oh, look, we beat this team by like 20. Yeah, you scored 12 when they had their 5th-string junior varsity guys in. We talked about the Denver Broncos, and they legit have not beaten anybody but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Saints, bad. Panthers, bad. Raiders, even more bad. The Jets, oh my good Lord, are they bad? They're bad. But if a team like the Denver Broncos does make it to the playoffs, if a team like the Denver Broncos sneaks into the playoffs as a 7th seed, if a team like the Denver Broncos comes in and be like, oh, I'm here, surprise, it doesn't matter because they are pretenders at the end of the day. The Denver Broncos can go on a 15-game winning streak, and they're still going to be pretenders because their offense is terrible. Yes, Bo Nix is playing better, but who besides Bo Nix, who do they have? Jerry Jeudy, he's gone. Cortland Sutton hasn't done shit all season long. Little Jordan Humphrey, little Jordan hump this, right? The offense has been terrible. Running game is lackluster. Passing game is okay, all because of Bo Nix balling out. The defense can only carry you for so far, right? When you play a good team, a good offense, like the Kansas City Chiefs, we'll see how good they play, right? Let's flash back to week 9 when they played the Baltimore Ravens, the best offense in the NFL. They could not stop a bloody nose. The best part about the Denver Broncos defense is ranked 6, sure, because they haven't played nobody. Stats are skewed. They play a good team. They get boat raced. They are 100% pretenders. 100% pretenders. Guys, in the comments below, are the Denver Broncos contenders or pretenders? Let me know. Ant says they are pretenders. There are too many better teams in the AFC. Bengals are one of them, right? Hell, the Miami Dolphins, the Browns, they could get hot. They could get hot. They have a 1% chance of making the playoffs, but hey, we saw the Buffalo Bills make it last season, right? And the problem is that a lot of the better teams in the AFC are down this season. They have put themselves in no-win situations. The Dolphins, the Browns, the Jaguars, they have all pretty much eliminated themselves from playoff competition. The Titans have an 8% chance. Basically, guys, it is a 10-team race in the NFC right now. You have the Jets, Bengals, Colts, Broncos, Chargers, Ravens. Those 6 teams are battling for those wild card spots. So honestly, if the Bengals don't get it, by default, the Broncos are probably going to slide in there, but they're going to be pretenders. And that's what James says. They are pretenders. James says Peyton needs another off season to get his offense right. How many off seasons do you need, James? I mean, he's had 2 years with Russ. This is his 3rd season. Like at what point, maybe Sean Payton just doesn't have it. Maybe this offensive guru and Sean Payton just isn't the real deal. Maybe Sean Payton is over the hill. Maybe Sean Payton was all Drew Brees. Ever think about that? Maybe, so maybe. Maybe, just maybe. WBN says, it would be funny if they do make it to playoffs and got to see Schittsburg in the first round. Russ will get his back. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I would. You guys were talking about Joe Flacco versus the Ravens, Russ versus the Denver Broncos. That would be even more magic, right? And then he plays the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Derek says they're not making the playoffs this year. Sorry, Mom. Facts. James says, I bet they paid Devontae Adams to go there after Aaron retires. I don't know. Probably not. And James says, I agree. Sean Payton was Drew Brees. Facts. I forgot they played the Eagles. Definitely 7 out of 9. Oh, you got to talk about the Browns game. All right, so we all think that the Ponies are pretenders. How about this other AFC West team? A team that's kind of, I wrote off this season, honestly. I was like, Chargers, nah. They let go of the receivers. They're all young. Brand new running back group, new coach, whatever. Rebuild year. But right now, the LA Chargers are 6th seed, guys. They're sitting at 6th seed in the AFC playoffs. They do play the Titans this weekend at home. The Chargers have won 3 of their last 4 games, scoring 23 points in those wins, only allowing a maximum of 16 points to the Denver Broncos in those 3 out of the last 4 wins. They held the Cards to 15 points, Saints to 8 points, and the Browns to 10 points. Their offense, even though they scored 23 points in the last 4 games plus, they're still ranked 23rd in the NFL. Their defense, however, is ranked 8th in the NFL, giving up only 12.6 per game. They currently have 72% chance of making the playoffs. They do play the Bengals, Ravens, and Falcons after the Tennessee Titans in Week 10. So, guys, are the LA Chargers, are they contenders or are they pretenders? Chargers are sitting at 5-3. They have wins over the Saints, Browns, Broncos, Panthers, and Raiders. Browns was a good win. I will give you the Browns. Not because of the Browns' record, because Jameis Winston and the whole team was on cloud 9 after beating the Baltimore Ravens. They were at home. Jameis, right? We heard it all week. Chargers come in there and they laid the wood to him. Say, I'm your daddy now. They did beat the Broncos, scoring 23 points on a very, very good defense. But then they beat the Raiders and Panthers. Nothing to write home about. Their losses this season have been to playoff caliber teams. And the Steelers, they lost by 10. Chiefs, they lost by 7. And the Cardinals, they lost by 2. All road games. So are the LA Chargers, guys, are they contenders or pretenders? I'm a Chiefs fan. Let's just point this out there. I am a Chiefs fan, and I am scared of the LA Chargers. I am worried about playing the LA Chargers. The Chargers, guys, are contenders. They are contenders in the AFC playoff team and the AFC pitcher, and they can beat teams like the Buffalo Bills. They can beat a team like the Houston Texans. They can beat a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are built on defense and running the ball. In years past, Justin Herbert has been deemed Patrick Mahomes 2.0, the best quarterback in the AFC, and this and this and this. Harbaugh's coaching staff has taken the ball out of Justin Herbert's hands. They have taken the ball out of Justin Herbert's hands and not say, go out and win us a game. How about not lose us a game? Justin Herbert has become a game manager for the LA Chargers, and that makes him dangerous. They're winning by defense and running the ball. This carries on into the playoffs. This continues into the playoffs because defense and running the ball travels no matter the weather. It could be cold. It could be rainy. It could be snowy. It could be sleeting. It could be hailing. You can still run the ball and play defense. What comes and goes is your passing game and your ability to score a lot of points. They're not doing that. They're holding teams to under 12 points a game. They're running the piss out of the ball. They are controlling the clock, and they're taking away possessions. Justin Herbert has been a perfect game manager for the LA Chargers. Game manager, not a bad term. It's a right term. It's a proper term because he is managing the game. He is managing this game, and they're going to continue to get better and better and better. When they beat the Titans, they welcomed the Bengals into town. Sunday Night Football. This could be a playoff game. The winner of this game, the Bengals versus Chargers, could be a playoff game. Who is going to make the playoffs? It's going to be circle that game to watch. And then they play the Ravens. The Chargers are going to be battle tested going into this playoffs, and of course they do play the Chiefs, Buccaneers, and Broncos to end the season. But we're going to really see how big of contenders that they actually are, guys. If I am in the AFC, this is a team that I do not want to play. They are definitely contenders, and I think they're going to upset a team or two in the playoffs. So, guys, in the comments below, are the LA Chargers contenders or pretenders? James Frank says they are contenders. Contenders. The offense is great, and that defense is scary, baby. James, slow it down, baby. But I'm buying in the Chargers type too, man. I love me some Chargers right now. Derek says negative. Spoiler alert, Derek's a Raiders fan. Could be a little homer into him, but he says they are pretenders. They're not going to win a playoff game. They are pretenders. James Shamler says all wins over bad teams, including the Browns. Correct, James. You are correct. But in those losses that they have to playoff teams, they held the Kansas City Chiefs to 17 points. They held the Pittsburgh Steelers to 20 points. They held the Cardinals to 17 points. Their defense is where they're winning games. The offense will continue to get better, I think. Offense will continue to get better, and that defense should stay healthy and get better as well. Ant says they are contenders only because of the coaching ability of Jim Harbaugh, and that is 100% facts. I don't remember their coach last year, but he was fired mid-season. If I remember correctly, he should have been fired long ago. The coaching staff in the past 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons have been holding the LA Chargers back, right? Let's go back to the punctured lung of Tyrod Taylor, insert Justin Herbert, and we would have never even seen this, right? The coaching staff has been the issue in LA. They have always had the defense. They've always had the name, notoriety to really win a lot of games, but the coaching staff has failed them. Out with the old, in with the new, whole new coaching staff. We're going to run the ball, we're going to play defense, and we're going to win a lot of close football games, and that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing, and that's why I think they are contenders. So, guys, are the LA Chargers contenders or pretenders? So we talked about the AFC. We talked about the Baltimore Ravens being the 5th seed right now. The LA Chargers are the 6th seed right now, and the Denver Broncos are the 7th seed. We have contenders for the Ravens, pretenders for the Ravens, pretenders for the Broncos, and contenders for the Chargers. But let's go over to the 7th seed in the NFC. Let's go to the 7th seed in the NFC, and that is the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are on a bye this week, a much-needed bye week. Jordan Love needs to get healthy for the Green Bay Packers to be contenders. I should say. But Jordan Love is currently bothered by that hamstring injury, which I feel he shouldn't have played last week versus the Lions. But we digress from that. And going into week 11, they do play the Bears, 49ers, and Dolphins. Right now, the Green Bay Packers have the 11th ranked defense in the NFL, but for some reason they traded Preston Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. Not for sure why, but I want to see how they can rebound from that trade. Who is going to come in there and do what Preston Smith used to do for the Green Bay Packers? The offense right now is flying high. 4th ranked offense in the NFL, averaging over 26 points per game. Currently sitting at the 7 seed, they have a 63% chance of making the playoffs, aka they have a fairly tough schedule moving forward. So when we look at the Green Bay Packers, guys, are they contenders or are they pretenders? Green Bay Packers were on a 4-game winning streak over the Rams, Cardinals, Texans, and Jaguars before getting kind of humiliated by the Detroit Lions last week. Let's just be flat out honest. They were winners of 6 of 7. They're sitting at 6-3 on the season right now. They do have some good wins over some good teams, right? The Colts, nothing to write home about, but it was a good win. They did beat the Rams, they did beat the Texans, and they did beat the Cardinals, all playoff caliber teams. Packers are a team as kind of like, what if, right? What if Jordan Love can stay healthy? What if that defense can continue to get turnover after turnover after turnover? What if Jordan Love can stop throwing interceptions? What if they learn how to use Josh Jacobs a little bit better? What if, right? And I think this bye week, a lot of those what ifs are going to be figured out. During bye weeks, you do a lot of self-scouting. You realize, like, hey, Jordan Love, ever since you come back from your injury, you've been wearing that Brett Favre jersey, and we don't like you turning the ball over. At the same time, the defense has been playing lights out. The defense can continue to play lights out, and they can beat teams like the Bears, the 49ers, and the Dolphins and compete with the Lions at Detroit on December 5th. And they could turn that 4-game winning streak with 1 loss into a 8-game winning streak with 1 loss, right? They had the opportunity to get hot at any given time. And I think that's why I think the Green Bay Packers are contenders. I think the Green Bay Packers are a team that if they make the playoffs, big if they make the playoffs, this is a team that you're not going to want to play. The defense has been gnarly. The defense has had multiple turnovers in 6 or 7 games this season. Jordan Love is going to get better. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL for a reason, because he has that ability to get better. Josh Jacobs is going to figure out, like, hey, I want the ball, and he's going to have flashbacks of his 2022 season and be the highest rusher in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers, guys, are contenders. The Detroit Lions do not want to see the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. A team like the Philadelphia Eagles does not want to see the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs, or the Commanders. Honestly, when you look at the NFC playoff picture, besides the Lions, I would pick the Packers over every one of those teams in the playoff picture right now, and I would go out on a limb and I would pick them over the Detroit Lions as well. I think the Green Bay Packers are on a mission. They're going to get hot. They're going to start to click, and they are 100% contenders in the NFL, or in the NFC playoffs. Guys, in the comments below, are the Green Bay Packers contenders or pretenders? And Ant says they are pretenders because of Jordan Love's injury. Dude is not all and will not be 100% as long as they keep playing. Not much rest for him. You nailed it, right? And you nailed it. He should have not have played against the Detroit Lions last week. He actually probably hurt himself worse by playing at 60% than he did help the team. There are plays out there that a healthy Jordan Love could have made, and it wouldn't have resulted into a pick 6 to end the first half. It would have been a completed pass there. We could have had a different outcome of that game. But you're right. Jordan Love at this rate will not be 100%. A hamstring injury, as longer it lingers, the worse it's going to get, and it's going to be worse for you in the long run. Definitely should have sat him last week, but at least they do got a bye week. Hopefully he's getting proper rehab, and they can have them being moving forward. James Frank says, I had them being contenders, but now I'm starting to doubt them. Why are you starting to doubt them, James? Was it because of the loss to the best team, the team that's number 1 in my power rankings, and the Detroit Lions? Or is it because of Jordan Love Jordan Love's injury. What is making you doubt them? One loss to the Detroit Lions should not make you doubt them, right? It should actually give you a little bit of motivation, right? Yes, they did lose by 10 points to the Detroit Lions, but that was at Jordan Love at 60% at best. That man was injured, right? It was raining. It was nasty. When you get into the playoffs, you are not going to win. You are not going to win the division. So every team right now in the NFC playoffs either has a dome or is a warm weather team besides the Commanders and besides the Eagles. And you wouldn't play either one of those teams. Well, you would potentially play the Commanders, but I think you can beat the Commanders. In the dome, warm weather, give me the Packers all the time. And Derek says they have a lot of weapons. They do have a lot of weapons. They have a lot of weapons that they're not even using, right? Was it Christian? Is it Christian Watson or Romeo Dobbs that has like one touchdown his whole career? Like, use the man, Jaden Reed, right? They have a plethora of receivers. Use them, but most importantly, use Josh Jacobs. Use him, right? Ann says, "Yep, he rushed himself back. He should have sat out longer." Yep. 100% right. James says, "I have them as contender, even with Love out. Malik is a wild card if the right one shows up and looks out." And that is what's great about the Green Bay Packers is Matt LaFleur is a very, very good coach. Matt LaFleur understands that Malik Willis is not no Jordan Love. Matt LaFleur understands that you can rush the ball with Josh Jacobs over and over and over again and Malik Willis over and over and over again, and you're going to win games. That's what they did when Jordan Love was out the first time. What? Malik Willis had like 10 pass attempts? Something crazy? Went out there and balled out. Balled out. So, guys, are the Packers contenders or pretenders? Next up, we got to talk about Laura's team. And that is the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings right now are currently sitting at the 5th seed. The Vikings have lost 2 of their last 3 after winning their first 5 games of the NFL season. They lost by 2 points to the Detroit Lions, and then they lost another game to the LA Rams by 10 points the following week. They did beat the Colts last week on Sunday Night Football. Right now, they do have a 91% chance of making the playoffs. However, they only have the 14th ranked offense and the 16th ranked defense in the NFL. After their upcoming games, they do play at Jacksonville, at Tennessee, and at the Chicago Bears. 3 tough road games for the Minnesota Vikings moving forward. When we look at the Minnesota Vikings, guys, are they contenders or are they pretenders in this NFC playoff picture? Minnesota Vikings, guys, if you want to flashback to June or July when I predicted their schedule, I think I had them sitting at 6 or 7 wins. I actually had Sam Darnold getting benched during their bye week, which is week 12, I do believe, in for J.J. McCarthy. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy did go down with that meniscus injury, had surgery on it, decided basically missed the whole season. Sam Darnold playing lights out. Sam Darnold, first 5 games of the season, top notch, bar none, right? There are some flaws in the Vikings pitcher. The cracks of the foundation were there. We seen the issues, but they kept winning. Winning cures all. But then they go in there and they jumped out on the Detroit Lions early. I believe it was 14-0 going into the second quarter. And then the rest of the game they kind of got dominated. Let's just be honest. And then they went to Thursday night to play at the LA Rams, and they really got exposed there too, right? Then of course they did bounce back versus the Colts. However, they kind of got exposed again. The issue with the Minnesota Vikings is Justin Jefferson, right? The minute Justin Jefferson said, "I'm tired of only getting 80, 90 yards in a game. I want that 100 note. I want that C note." It was beginning of the end for the Minnesota Vikings. It was beginning of the end, and that's why they're going to be pretenders in this NFC playoff picture. They're going to be pretenders because of Justin Jefferson. They're going to be pretenders because Sam Darnold wants to make the people around him happy. They are pretenders because Sam Darnold wants to be the quarterback of the future, even though he understands that he doesn't. So he's trying to do things that he isn't going to be able to do, unfortunately. The simple fact of the matter is the Vikings are pretenders because during that 5-game winning streak, they beat the Giants. They beat the 49ers, very injured 49ers team. They beat the Texans, a very injured Texas team. They beat the Green Bay Packers. I believe that was Jordan Love's first game back. They were up 28 points, 28-0, and damn near gave it away. Only won by 2 points just thanks to a late second field goal. And then they did get dominated by the Lions, and they did get dominated by the Rams as well. And truth be told, they kind of got dominated by the Indianapolis Colts as well. These next 3 games on the road is going to be a telltale sign for the Minnesota Vikings receiver. It is going to be a telltale sign because the Jaguars, as they are a bad team, insert Mac Jones. Mac Jones is playing this week. No film. How can the defense respond to a team that have no film on, right? Are they going to be able to battle that? Titans, not playing for anything. Not playing for anything. They want to lose. Guess what? Still going to be a tough place to play. Still going to have Will Levis probably come back. Mason Rudolph is not the answer. And then you got the Chicago Bears, a division foe. A team that would like nothing better to knock you off. Knock you in the dirt. Put your dick in the dirt and say, who's your daddy now? We are going to see who the true Minnesota Vikings are, guys, these next 3 weeks. But right now, I think they are pretenders. I predicted the 2-game losing streak. I said, hell, it would not surprise me if they lost three in a row. They did battle back and beat the Colts in the fourth quarter. But it would not shock me one bit if they lose 2 of the next 3. Whether it's to the Jaguars and Bears or Titans and Bears, I think they're going to lose 2 of the next 3, and they're going to be really big pretenders moving forward. So, guys, are the Minnesota Vikings, are they contenders or pretenders? Ant says they're pretenders. I'm still not buying the Sam Darnold hype. Dude will eventually shit the bed. Their defense hasn't helped keep them afloat, or the defense has helped keep them afloat. Exactly. Like I said when they played over in London, right? The Vikings put the ball on the turf a lot. They are dangerous with the ball. The ball has been bouncing back up to them lately. They have not been turning it over. But once the ball starts bounce the other way, it's the beginning of the end. James says they're contenders. Let Jet fly. You cannot have a single guy as your offense. I'm just saying. Derek says, I see the whole receiver core coming alive in the playoffs. And TJ Hawkinson is back, right? Still got Jordan Addison and JJ. And they did pick up Aaron Aaron Jones. That whole offense can be really, really scary. As long as Sam Darnold, like Ant says, doesn't shit at the bed. They do have another good coach in Kevin O'Connell. I think the NFC North might have the 3 best coaches in the NFL, to be honest. And then you've got the Bears coach, Matt Eberflus, which should be fired, but we digress from that. But I do think the Vikings are pretenders, and we are kind of split on that, which is kind of shocking, but we are kind of split. Moving on to the last team. The last team is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles right now, guys, are currently sitting at the 6th seed. They started off the season so-so, right? They started off the season 2-2, but after that second loss, the beat down by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 4, 36-16, I believe the score was. Everybody thought the season was over. Fire Nick Sirianni, bitch Jalen Hurts, do this, fire everybody. What is going on in Philly? The world's coming to an end. Insert bye week, and since then they have won 4 in a row. A.J. Brown is back 100%. Devontae Smith is back 100%. Saquon Barkley is literally hurdling over the competition, and right now they're sitting at a 91% chance of making the playoffs. They have the 6th ranked offense, the 3rd ranked defense, and they play at Dallas Cowboys this Sunday, and then they play the Commanders and the LA Rams the following week. So when we look at the 6th seed, the Philadelphia Eagles, guys, are they contenders or are they pretenders? If we were to talk about this last week or 2 weeks ago, or even 3 weeks ago, I'd be like, they are 100% pretenders. There is no way. Yeah, cool, they beat a bad Browns team. Awesome, right? And when we look at the rest of this schedule, right, honestly, they haven't really beaten anybody good. Yes, they did beat the Packers week 1 down in Brazil. A good win, right? But then they beat the Saints. Then they beat the Browns, the Giants, the Bengals, and Jaguars. Really, no teams really truly write home about. And then they played the Dallas Cowboys on America's game of the week against America's team on Sunday afternoon. They're going to win, and they should win. Now, when people say, oh, we haven't played nobody, you have to look the way they've been playing these teams. They have been dominating these teams. They haven't been embarrassing these teams. Yes, they did only beat the Jacksonville Jaguars by five points. Shit happens. But, guys, the Philadelphia Eagles are contenders. They are 100% contenders. They're going to be battle-tested coming up. Yes, they do play the Commanders, the Rams, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Commanders, and the Giants to end the season. All 6 games that they are going to be very competitive in, and they're going to probably win, except for the Ravens, because, Lamar Jackson doesn't lose to NFC teams because that matters. But the simple fact of the matter is, guys, that the Eagles are getting hot, and they're going to be hot, and they're going to stay hot for a long, long time. Barring any injury, I do not want to play the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not going to be a wild card. They're going to be a 2nd or 3rd seed in the NFC playoff picture. Hell, they might even be the 1st seed, depending on what the Detroit Lions do. The Philadelphia Eagles, guys, are the real deal. This is a team that can make it into the Super Bowl. Not only make it to the Super Bowl, they can win the Super Bowl. This bye week, back in week 5, did the Philadelphia Eagles very, very good. It turned their whole season around. They have now won 4 games in a row, and they are on cloud 9. Jalen Hurts is back being an MVP-level quarterback. Saquon Barkley is the MVP of that team, single-handedly saying, come with me, boys. A.J. Brown is a dog. And that defense, the whole Georgia boards, the 3rd-ranked defense in the NFL? Guys, look out. The Philadelphia Eagles are 100% contenders. And if you guys say otherwise, I think you're just pure haters. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Right there is my ball. Micah Parsons' jersey is right here. I am a Dallas Cowboys fan. They're my 2nd team. And I'm telling you, the Philadelphia Eagles are the real deal. They are contenders. They are Super Bowl favorites in the NFC. When you look at Super Bowl teams, you're looking at the Green Bay Packers, you're looking at the Detroit Lions, and you're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles. They are contenders. What do you guys think? Are they contenders or pretenders? And James says contenders. Barkley. We talked about MVPs. Saquon Barkley is the MVP. Let's just be honest. It is between TJ Watt, Chris Jones, and Saquon Barkley. Screw all those quarterbacks. Saquon Barkley is a freaking MVP and says they are contenders. And is saying Eagles versus Ravens Super Bowl, baby. I'm just kidding. James Frank says, I got the privilege of meeting Saquon Barkley when he was with the Giants. He's a humble dude. My dumbass sold his autograph for crack. Tough, man. Tough, right? And I've heard great stories about Saquon, right? It was when Nick Sirianni came to him on the bench, hey, you want to break this record like 7 yards away? And he's like, no, let the young kids eat. And then that day or that night, somebody from a bar from when he was at Penn State was like, yeah, he is the coolest, humblest dude ever, right? He would go sit in the back like at the bar because he didn't want to cause a scene. People would send him drinks all the time, and he would go up there and personally thank them, right? No college kid is going to do that, especially a professional athlete, right? Saquon Barkley is a great dude, real dude, right? Derek says contenders, they are loaded. And Ann says, whoa, slow it down, baby. I ain't going to go that far. The Eagles secondary is suspect. And it's funny that you say that, Ant, because earlier this offseason, the Eagles secondary was one of the deepest, right? We were like C.J. Garner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, Darius Slay, Cooper Gene from Iowa, James Bradbury. They had some other people, right? They're like, wow, they're going to have to cut a starter to get to get everybody here. But now James Bradbury's entered, Reed Blankenship's off and on, right? Secondary suspect. I wouldn't say suspect, but I would say definitely undervalued, right? Overlooked, because that front seven's gnarly. Those Georgia boys are gnarly. Secondary just a little undervalued. They're still pretty good. But, all right, guys, are the Eagles contenders or pretenders? 100% contenders. 100% contenders in my eyes. But, guys, that is going to be it for today's show. I got to get little man off the bus. Literally got 1 minute before the bus is here. I think I should have just heard it pull up. But we'll see you guys Saturday night, 9 p.m. East Coast time. We got the crew together. We got Huffy. We got Mark D. We're doing Week 10 NFL preview show. A little bit different, right? After hours, we shoot the shit. But big things, I'm trying to make it very, very watchable, guys. Very, very lovable. Very, very interactive. So tune in tomorrow, 9 p.m. East Coast time. Until then, guys, we out.